Hi, Jeremy the Tall Trainer here, and I want to talk to you about craving management. And so you probably got to this video because maybe you got one of these little magnets here. And so here is the explanation of your magnet. And so you can see that there are 9 points here. Water, protein, fat, mini meals, vegetables and fruit, taper back on sweets, avoid poisons, how do I feel, and create a craving. Now some of these you might go, okay, that starts to help even without a description, but some of them do require a description, and this description is going to help you a ton. So let me just go right into it here. So water, number one, half of your weight in ounces of water. So a 150-pound person would consume at least 75 ounces of water per day. To give you an idea, there are 128 ounces in a gallon. 8-ounce glass of water, you've heard that recommendation before, is about 64 ounces. And most plastic water bottles, you can see in the picture here, are 16.9 ounces. So it'd be about 5 of them, 84.5 ounces. Just to give you an idea of what that recommendation is. So this is the most common recommendation you will find. I think it really holds up well in a lot of different areas there. Now, if it's hot or things like that, you may have to consume, maybe different amounts, larger amounts typically than that. Issues related to not enough water. So check yourself here. Constipation, arthritis, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, excess weight, low energy, midday sleepiness, low back, neck pain, stress, depression, asthma, allergies, headaches, etc. Just about any inflammatory condition can be, exacerbated by not having enough water. So water is a big part of our bodies. It makes up, most of our bodies. And so if we're not getting enough, it could be a simple fix that could have a profound impact. So everything runs on water. So its absence or shortage causes everything in the body to get worse. You can even find links to heart disease and cancer because there are some inflammatory aspects of those as well. So a good book recommendation here, our website, watercure.com. The book is Your Body's Many Cries for Water. You're not sick, you're thirsty. Don't treat thirst with medication. That says the whole line on there. Another quote from the book there, we should first exclude the simpler causes for disease emergence in the body and then think of the more complicated. So if water is a fix for some issue you have, that's an easy fix. There could be other fixes that are out there that are not as easy. They're more complicated. There's more side effects. But water is such a simple, awesome thing. So try it. Try that one first. So half your body weight in ounces of water. So how to get more? First thing in the morning, at every meal, keep a water bottle handy, water on your desk, scheduled chugging, go 1 for 1 with coffee or alcohol, so that means you need to have more water than the recommended if you have coffee or alcohol. Pour glasses out of a gallon so you know how much you had, so you can mark the gallon with what you needed to consume for the day and just keep going until you finish it. So number two, protein. 0.64 to 0.9 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So that means a 150-pound person would be going for 96 grams to 135 grams of protein. Now this is for muscle building and people who are working out fairly intensely on a regular basis. And so this is not for just, once you're at maintenance and you're just kind of chilling, relaxing, just occasionally getting a workout in. It is for you're really gunning after it, and that's most of our clients, most of the people we work with are doing that. And it's a decent amount of protein, and I find that it makes you so much more full. It's so helpful, so it helps with that craving because it decreases, some of the insulin effects. It takes longer to digest protein, so it breaks down and lets you hang to the next meal a little bit better. So that research stuff again, so research has proven that protein is helpful. Personal experience, my own experience, proves it's helpful because when I have enough protein, I feel much more even through the day. And client results, when our clients are doing a good job on protein, they notice. Not just meat is protein. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll take 1,200 calories, like a day's worth of calories, and put that into our nutrition program and see what it spits out. So I put 1,200 calories of cauliflower. You wouldn't want to eat that, of course, but just give you an idea of that there are protein grams in vegetables. 99 grams of protein in that much cauliflower. And 1,200 calories of spinach. 163 grams of protein. So that's a lot. It's a lot of all you eat with spinach, you definitely get your protein level. Broccoli, 1,200 calories of broccoli, 131 grams of protein. Green beans, string beans, even 72 grams of protein. Kidney beans, so more of our kidney bean group, different more of the bean types. 89 grams of protein. Chicken breast. So, obviously, we'll put a protein in there just to give you an idea, like something that's more quote-unquote protein. 240 grams in there. And then just give you an idea, fruits sometimes don't help us out a whole lot on this. 1,200 calories of fruit. You know, an apple is only 3.9 grams of protein. So you want to be shading more towards the veggies and the animal sources to get that protein in. If you're doing that, you will notice a level of fullness that is just beautiful. So how to get more protein? Try plant protein in your green smoothie, or actually having a green smoothie. More green in your green smoothie, so more vegetables in there will have more protein. Eat some chicken, fish, or beef. Remember, a healthy animal equals healthy meat. So if it was raised in a healthy way, the meat comes out so much better. You know, they find that grass-fed beef has, you know, high omega-3s, whereas, you know, the typical way, you know, may have be very inflammatory, and, you know, that has a stronger link to heart disease. Eggs in the morning. There's about 6 to 7 grams of protein per egg, so try those out. Get to jumpstart on your day. Less fruit, less grains. You know, even just decreasing those a little bit will help you eat more of the other stuff. More beans. You know, beans, musical fruit. You know, so have some of those that can help. So that could be a different kind of carbs. So instead of grains, maybe you have a little more beans in there. Higher protein yogurts, you know, etc. There's a lot of ways you can go about that. Number 3, fat. Eat some fat still. So when we are on a weight loss plan, so maybe typically we have too much fat, you know, but when we're on a weight loss, plan, a goal, if we cut too much out, we end up with some crazy cravings. If you keep that fat in there regularly, it will even you out again. So like if every meal has a little bit, you will stay a lot more even. So, you know, our goal is about 5 to 10 grams per meal. So you're trying to space that out regularly. A lot of times, if you don't have that meal's not the problem. It's the next meal that you find yourself really, really crazy craving for. So make sure, you know, you're trying to get that. So you're looking about 30 to 50 grams per day. You know, and higher metabolisms might need a little bit more than that, you know, to get that right. I have a higher metabolism, you know, because I'm 6'3", and I weigh a decent amount, and, you know, I got good muscle mass, and so I burn through all the calories, so I can go a little bit higher than that. Why would we want to have that fat? The biggest reason is because you'll get too hungry if you don't. And so if you cut too much fat out, we call it fungry. Sarah and I have a name for that, fungry. As a lot of times you'll eat a meal, you maybe say you have grilled chicken and steamed veggies, and you get done with that and you feel like, I am packed full of stuff, but there's still something that's unsatisfied. And that usually is because you'd left fat out of that meal. And so you go, okay, I need to add some fat in there. Is there some kind of sauce that I put on the chicken? Is there some kind of something yummy that I put on the veggies to spice them up? Put a little you know, olive oil, things like that. You know, where is the fat there? So reason number 2. So, you know, big reason that is hungry, and that should be probably your main reason. But another reason besides that is vitamin absorption. If you don't have fat coming in regularly, you won't be able to absorb some of those vitamins that your body needs. And so make sure, you know, you have that so that you absorb the stuff that you need. Some of them only get absorbed, you know, when we have fat in that meal with us. How to eat fat? That's not really that hard. Okay, so you don't need a lesson on this, but maybe just getting the good stuff is a little bit harder. Getting the right amount can be challenging, so not overdoing it, not underdoing it. Nuts and oils are probably the best form of fat there, but, you know, I do have fats that come from not, you know, the most healthy sources, and that's part of our balance plan, you know, at Tall Trainer. You know, our big philosophy is, you know, eat the way God designs to eat, move the way God designs to move, and strive for being better, not for perfection. So you do not have to be perfect at this. Coconut oil for cooking, it has a higher scorch rate, so you won't burn the oil. A burned oil, you know, it's like a trans fat. And so coconut oil does not burn as easy. If you cook with olive oil, you might burn it, and it's no longer healthy. So olive oil is maybe for light heat, you know, but mostly for non-cooking. Nuts and avocados are also great sources of fat. Ask yourself, where is the fat? So you have your meal set up. Where is the fat? Do I have a fat source, you know, in there? And food journaling will help you to figure that out. Mini meals, eating every 3 to 4 hours, and starting with breakfast. You know, having that in your day. So one of the biggest mistakes people make is they dip into this irrational hunger, you know, too much. And so, you know, maybe the typical person, a lot of times they don't even have breakfast, but they have this big meal, and then they go a long period of time before the next meal. The next meal is like lunch, and so they start dipping into irrational hunger. So by the time the lunch rolls around, they're hungry. And so when you're really, really hungry, your body wants sugar. Your physiology cries out for sugar because it's trying to get your blood sugar regulated back up again. And so you know, watch out for that, because you're going to be too tempted. You're going to make your willpower run down because of that. And so then people have lunch, and then, you know, they're still not getting it, You know, they have a big lunch, or maybe their first meal food of the day. Then they go a long time. I think the biggest mistake is between lunch and dinner. People don't have a snack in there, and so dinner, they're crazy hungry. If they have a really healthy dinner, what happens is, you know, they go and they get done with dinner and they're still hungry, and that's why all these people are talking about, you know, don't eat after 7, don't eat after 7. Well, it's because they put themselves in such a bad state through the day, this hunger cycle through the day, and so now they're craving stuff. A better solution here is this little more moderate line. So we have breakfast, it starts to dip, it starts to get close to that irrational hunger, we have a little snack, it dips us back up. You come down to lunch, dips up, dips up, dips up. It never has to crash into irrational hunger. If I get there, I eat the chips, I eat the cookies, just things like that. You know, so it's not that you're flawed or anything like that. It's just you need a better strategy. And so having these mini meals can help you stay more even. If you're more even, you can handle, you know, some of the emotional cravings a little bit better as well. So you want to get physiological cravings out of there. So eat, you know, at those mini meals every 3 to 4 hours. Another thing is breakfast. So fuel up for success. You know, school children and breakfast. They've done tons and tons of research. The kids that are having breakfast are going to perform better. And so they, you know, they even have, like, you know, these free breakfast programs for kids. Is it only for kids? I don't think so. I think it's for us too. I think adults are like older kids. All right, so we need that to perform our best in our jobs, in our life, and, you know, as our role as spouse, parent, all those things. You know, once you're hungry, it's over. Don't get hungry. I hate being hungry, and I'm sure you don't like being hungry either. I usually eat when I'm hungry, and then if I get too hungry, I overeat. You know, so your goal is to eat before the big hunger comes. So we're just like, I could eat, and we have our snack then, and we keep ourselves in this happy place. Breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper. And so it's a fun little saying there, but just, you know, try to eat that food, so front load that day. Give yourself the energy to run your body for the day. Don't starve your body for the day, and then a lot of times, you know, we crack in the evening, we eat too much, and then we actually, you know, we're giving ourselves lots of energy to go to bed. So maybe we don't even sleep well, you know, because of that. So eat more food earlier. Food insecurity makes us wait till the end of the day to eat our calories. So let's say I only have 1,200 calories to work with, and so, you know I go crazy in the evening, so I need to try to save as many calories until then as possible. Well, when you do that, you will go crazy in the evening. So if you restrict calories too much during the day, you know, you have, you know, 400 calories, you know, before dinner, you know, you're gonna go nuts because you spent so much of the day hungry already. So don't do that. You're gonna mess yourself up. Number 5, vegetables and fruit. You know, veggies mostly on this, but the fruit will provide some of these nutrients as well. And so really it's about nutrition. It's about nutrition because sometimes, you know, our body is craving, you know, a lot of calories, you know, because if we give it low quality food, it's going to be craving a high amount of that in order to satisfy our vitamin and mineral requirements. And so, you know, our body doesn't care what size we are, how we look in a mirror, as much as it cares about survival. And some of these vitamins and minerals are essential to survival. So it will make you crave more to get those in. So if you're eating the vegetables that have massive amounts of vitamins and minerals, some fruit, you know, have a massive amount of vitamins and minerals, you satisfy those and you will find yourself not eating as many calories and feeling wonderful. And so the big recommendation on this is 1 pound of raw, 1 pound of cooked. And so that tends to be a pretty good balance. And if you've never had a vegetable before, you don't start there. Again, eat the way God designed us to eat, move the way God designed us to move, strive to be better, not to be perfect. You know, so just try to get a little bit better at this. Why do we want to do this? Because Dr. Joel Fuhrman said so. So he's one of the greatest mouthpieces of this. You know, now your grandma told you this, your mom probably even told you this, to eat your veggies. You know, but he is probably one of the most convincing, you know, on this. So his books, Eat to Live and Eat for Health, are great resources on that. But I don't like taking anyone's word for it. You know, so I investigated a little myself. So we have this nutrition program that we use at Tell Trainer, and you know, it gives us grades over here. So you see this column over on the side, it's got all these little letter grades, A, all this stuff. It's even got GPA way down here at the bottom, 3.31 GPA there. So pretty good GPA, like the good, nice grades. What I did was I decided, you know, if a pound of raw, a pound of cooked veggies, a pound of cooked is in there, because sometimes all raw can be a little bit abrasive on our system there, especially if you're not a good chewer. You make sure you chew well when you have raw. So a pound of raw, a pound of cooked. So I put a pound of broccoli, 454 grams is a pound. So a pound of broccoli, just cooked broccoli in there, and then a pound of basically romaine, you know, in there. And so between the two of them, it's only like 208 calories between the two of those. And I said, okay, if this really should work, then it means if I have a pound of raw and a pound of cooked, I should have a bunch of junk and still look okay for the day. So I was like, okay, what's kind of a junky food? You know, high calorie, low nutrient. So, you know, pizza is probably one of the classic examples. I still eat pizza from time to time, just so you know. But again, strive for being better, not perfect. All right. So pizza. So I had a pound of pizza, and it actually worked out. I was like, great. So it's a pound of raw, pound of cooked, pound of pizza. What a great plan, you know. So this is really how it works. Is, you know, so that's 1,168 calories of pizza. So that's a lot of pizza that you're having, but you have this massive amount of good veggies coming in. So it doesn't have to be just all broccoli or just all, you know, romaine, but just to simplify it for us, I did that. So it's only like 1,300 calories, 74 grams of protein, 3.31. You know, GPA. Look at all these A's, all these great grades in vitamins and minerals. You know, it's awesome. So you're going to be doing so much better. A little side note on this one is sometimes people will take a supplement and they say, okay, well, if I take my supplement, I get great vitamins and minerals. I got those covered. But I want to caution you on that, and Joel Furman would too. You know, is that you know, we don't know that much about food yet. There's lots of phytochemicals, micronutrients that are in there, and so if we're getting it from whole, natural, real food, and we're getting good vitamin and mineral grades of the ones that we know that exist, is we could be sure that maybe convinced a little bit that some of the ones we don't know of are getting in because they're part of that whole natural food. Whereas when we have it from a multivitamin, a protein bar, a fortified cereal, you know, a protein powder, you know, if we have our vitamins and minerals coming from those kind of things, those fortified things where they've added the vitamins back in, is they've added only that vitamin and not all the little things that come with it when it comes from a whole natural food. So eating the whole natural food and trying to get good vitamin and mineral grades on that is key, you know, to dealing with these cravings. You hit that, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's done amazing stuff for me. So here are a list of things. You'll notice this list is from Joel Furman's resources. You know, he's got basically a ranking of, you know, a bunch of veggies and basically all foods, but the veggies rank the highest as far as, you know, vitamin content. And so you go down here, you go like skim milk is 36, you know, whereas spinach is 739. You know, and you can see all these things in between. Doesn't mean you don't have any of these other things. It just means, you know, get some of these things in that other column. If you're curious about this, I recommend Joel Furman's Nutritarian Handbook. It's very short. It hits the point right away. His other books are really good too for getting, you know, more of an understanding of what's going on. But we have links to our favorite books at talltrainer.com /tall-trainer favorite books. There's also a little tab on our website for that. So how do I eat that much veggies? Green smoothie. You know, and so you throw greens in there, you throw fruit in there, and you start teaching yourself how to get more and more greens in that, and you can make it very fruity to start off with, and then start keep upping the green content of that to, you know, sneak more of those vitamins and minerals in. So save fruit for like your treats. Fruit is like a treat. So when you have like more of that carb craving, that's when fruit will fit in. Vegetables do have a lot more nutrition in them, but fruits in a pinch will do, you know, better than, you know, cookie, you know. So a loaded omelet, so you use a ton of veggies and the egg just barely holds those veggies together. Carrots and celery, so those kind of grabbable, you know, crunchable, you know, things. They do have good stuff in there. Celery, some people are like, well, it doesn't have hardly anything to it, like maybe it costs more calories to digest or whatever, but there is nutrition to it. There is vitamins and minerals. Our body needs those too. Stir fry can be really helpful. So you just, you know, open a bag of frozen veggies, dump it in a thing, you know, put some meat in there, and you cook that up, and boom, you're done. Chilies and soups can be great. A big salad. Joel Furman recommends everybody have a big salad every day. It's just something you do. It's like brushing your teeth. All right, so go for that. Go for that big salad. Increase your side of veggies. So when you're having veggies, have a bigger side of veggies. If you don't look a little bit weird compared to the average person is malnourished. So if you don't look a little bit weird in your vegetable consumption compared to that, then you're still not getting enough. And so it needs to be a little bit more. So Google it if you need to find other ways of getting vegetables in. I'm not the first one to mention eating vegetables. Number 6, taper back on sweets. So I consider these in order. So we've got you know, we got you know, on our little thing here, we've got water, protein, fat, mini meals, vegetables, and fruit, and then we get to taper back on sweets. And so this is the first time you actually make a conscious decision to have less cakes, cookies, crackers, breads, cereals, all of those kind of things. So this is the first time you actually start making a conscious choice not to have those. Most people, when they're to go, okay, I got cravings, I'm just going to stop eating those things. Okay, don't focus on the things you're going to stop doing. Focus on the things you're going to start doing. So you get the good stuff in there. You get those first 5 going really well, and your sweets will probably taper themselves back because you're doing those first 5. Now, there is a certain point where you still have too many sweets, in there. You still have, too much of that stuff going on. You have to make a conscious choice to have a little bit less. But then you don't have as massive of a physiological craving, and so it's not going to drive you quite so nuts to make that decision. It's not going to be as difficult to do. So eventually you may have to make a conscious decision to have a little bit less. Not gone forever. You strive for being better, not for perfection. All right, number 7, avoid poison. Now this seems like a no-brainer, okay? It seems like why would it even be on there? But it's tricky here. So I consider processed foods can be, have poison. Some of the colors, dyes, artificial flavors, when it has a massive ingredient list on there, so you want to watch out for that, So you minimize those. I still have some processed foods. Again, strive for being better, not for perfection, but you're trying to minimize those because a buildup of a lot of that stuff can be really bad in our system. So we're watching out for those. Alcohol and drugs. Even try to minimize prescriptions to the essential. So work with your doctor. Figure out, what kind of healthy behaviors can I do that might be able to get me off of some of these medicines. I even count caffeine as in there. Something you need to watch out for. So be careful of that. Any over-the-counter stuff, try not to, dose yourself up on other drugs, cold things like that. You want to make sure you use them to the minimum. Seriously, you're going to take care of your body as much as possible. Alcohol, I consider it a poison, and when it's in your body, what does it do? It kind of makes you feel a little bit funny. It makes you queasy. You have a lot of it. It makes people throw up. It's a poison reaction, and so watch out for that. You don't have to be perfect at this, but again, you want to minimize how much you're poisoning your body. So it may be a choice to have alcohol fewer days of the week there, or smaller amounts. Food sensitivity is probably one of the biggest things I want to mention in this section. And so this is one of the things I just want to make sure everybody knows about, because if you've never been told about this, it can really, it can be the secret to success for you. And so possible signs of food issues: constipation, diarrhea, which is considered dysbiosis, which is an imbalance of your intestinal flora. The bacteria in our intestine there. And so it means, we've got something's going on there. We're throwing ourselves off. Low energy, skin, rashes or breakouts, asthma, allergies, postnasal drip, arthritis, puffiness. So just general puffiness, weight retention, headaches, acid reflux, which is the #1 prescription drug, is for acid reflux, and a lot of it can be caused by the food we're eating. Obviously, it makes sense that could be part of that, and anything inflammatory. And so you almost see this list as similar to the list for drinking water, is that water helps us to clean out some of that stuff. So even if you had a food sensitivity, if you drank more water, it would probably affect you less. But then we can also deal with the food sensitivity. So some of the things you watch out for, these are not going to be for everybody. Some of these things you don't need to worry about. Some things you may need to, because it's a problem for you. Dairy could be an issue for you. Wheat, gluten, it could be an issue for you. Nightshades, tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, eggplant can be like an arthritis causing stuff there. Sugar, again, can be a big one. So sugar is an inflammatory, it feeds our, the bad bacteria in our body. Soy, nuts, eggs, basically anything that anybody has ever possibly been allergic to, could be, causing a problem for you. And so the idea, behind this is that, you could do a full-blown elimination diet where you actually cut out all of this stuff and eat very, very clean. You see mostly vegetables, some organic meats, some nuts, possibly, maybe even not nuts if you think they're going to be an issue. And then you go for a while like that, in a couple weeks, and then you slowly bring one food back at a time. Wait 3 days before you bring back another food and see if you have a reaction. If you don't, that food is now back in the family. It's part of the group again. Now, I've never done this because it sounds too awful to me. All right, so what I have done is I have gone without one particular one. So if I suspect one, so if let's say I suspect dairy, I have some issues with dairy actually. So it took me a little while to slowly figure that out, that I was eating dairy and having uncomfortable feelings. And so I was like, aha, something's going on. So you go without it for a little while, so cut it out for a little bit, see if you feel any better, and then when you come in, and then when you bring it back in, see if you have a reaction. You have a negative reaction to it when you bring it back in. And so you try some of those things. You try going for a while without dairy, see if there's a reaction there. You try going for a while without gluten, see if there's a reaction there. You go for a while without nightshades. And so some of these things, you go without it, you'll notice a weight drop, less inflammation, less joint pain. And you go, okay, well, maybe it's worth going without it. I mean, I like that stuff a lot, but maybe it's worth going without it because the benefits are that great. So try it. Just give it a shot. It could be a lifesaver for you. Number 8, how do I feel? This is a massive category. Now we're kind of getting past kind of physiological craving, and we're kind of getting into the mental, emotional cravings here. And so, how do I feel physically, mentally, and emotionally? So listen to your body before, during, and after meals. Before the meal, am I hungry? During the meal, have I gotten full already, but I'm still eating just 'cause? And then after the meal, did that food sit well with me? That's how we figure out, do I have a food sensitivity? Did that food sit well with my body? So are you really hungry, or are you just bored, stressed, anxious, sleepy, sad, or angry? So it could be that an emotional thing could be causing, that does my body approve of this food, not just the mouth approving, because there's some foods that my mouth absolutely approves of, but the rest of my body doesn't. So I eat, I go nom 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 nom, and then I don't feel so great afterwards. So be paying attention to that. You eat a big meal or something you eat a lot of gluten or something like that, and all of a sudden you feel like you want to fall asleep. That's a warning sign. That food did not energize you well. It's causing issues. Your body's fighting inside there. So be listening, for some of those things. Sleep is big. This is part of how we feel. How do I feel? Sleep. I might be sleepy, and I might be fueling myself with food. So if I don't get enough sleep, low sleep equals increased cortisol levels. So it's our stress hormones. And increased stress hormones increase our hunger. Increased hunger typically leads to increased calorie consumption. Stress hormones cause more belly fat. Specifically, it goes around the middle there. And so you've got to watch out for that. Sleep is a big one. So how? I did one on this topic alone. There are entire doctors in medical fields that deal with just sleep alone. So this is big. So but quick, create an environment. Make sure the environment is conducive to sleep. I can tell you more about that, but I'm not right here. Create time for sleep. So some of us pack our schedules so tight that we okay, I have 5 hours for sleep. That's not enough. You didn't give yourself enough time. You stayed up too late. You got caught watching TV too long. Create time to sleep. Maybe you have an alarm for bedtime. Practice and study. That's how you get better at just about anything, right? You practice sleeping. You study sleeping. All right. Another part of how we feel, slowing down your eating will allow you to feel things while you're actually in the meal. First stage of digestion is chewing. So you break that food down, you will absorb the nutrients better, you will feel better, you get less indigestion. All right? Eating slower will allow you to eat less in the same amount of time. Sometimes we keep eating because others are still eating. So if we're a fast eater, we wolf down our food really fast. If somebody's slow eating with us, we start to kind of pick it more, or we serve ourselves a little bit more, so we still have something to do. So eating slower will allow you to eat less in that same amount of time. Also, tasting your food can be nice. If you're eating food that actually tastes good, it's good to taste it. Especially on your treats, slow those down and enjoy them. Fullness takes a while to set in, especially true with healthy food. So allow that meal to lengthen a little bit, and that'll be really good. You can feel more during the meal if you're going slower too. Don't eat until you are stuffed. Stop a little bit sooner. How to slow down? Eat with chopsticks. You set your fork down between bites. Try a mindful eating timer. So don't let yourself wait a minute between bites. Bite, chew, 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 chew. Set the fork down. All that stuff. Serve yourself a smaller portion of food, so you kind of feel like, oh, I better go slow because this is sad looking. Stop and eat. So don't eat on the run. So you're trying to pause and eat. And so that does mean some lifestyle restructuring possibly, for that. And practice slowing down in there. Emotional eating, massive category. I estimate that about 80% of our clients struggle in this area. That's why they're with us. That's why they found us, is because this is not easy for them to do. And so we help guide them through this process. So I know what to do. Why aren't I doing it? Is basically where a lot of us are at. We ask people when they first come in, their knowledge of nutrition and their compliance with nutrition. Their knowledge is always more than their compliance. And so we know enough, to eat better, but we're not doing it. And so we're trying to figure out there's an emotional component to that, because that's not logical. That's illogical. So there's an emotional component in there. Anger, boredom, sad, anxious, stressed, even happy. So even positive emotions can throw us off. Celebrating. The holidays holidays can be big for some people just because they're a happy time. They're bad for some people because it's a sad time. Summertime can be tough for some people because they're happy, they're having fun, they're barbecuing, do stuff like that, and so they gain a lot of weight during that time. So you need to watch out for all of those. So big question to ask yourself with emotional eating: why am I eating right now? Ask yourself that question, but don't just ask it and then just kind of think about it. Write it down. Our heads are a confusing, messed up place. It's like they're unorganized. They bounce all around in there. And so writing it down clarifies your thoughts. It helps you to come up with a more organized way of thinking about that. So it gets more organized as you write. So write it down and get a mentor. So that could be somebody who's been through this before. Some of our staff, could probably help you with some of that. But also, we know a great psychologist, who is amazing at this. We actually have a local expert, world-renowned, amazing, speaks at conferences to other psychologists about this. So get a mentor, get help in that area. Number 9, create a craving. And so this is kind of working towards a positive, is what we're trying to do. So typically, we have this diet tug of war for a lot of us, and this kind of goes into that emotional eating a little bit. We have this emotional side, over here, which is kind of could be characterized as a child or a rebel, or maybe short-term thinking. It's right now. I want the food. I want this. I want that. I want to watch a movie. I want to do this. I want my freedom, says the rebel. And so that emotional side there. And then we have this rational side. So this could be also characterized, maybe called like the parent or a dictator. Has long-term thinking, like, well, how will this food affect me 10 years from now? And so we need both these sides, because, for all this rational side, then we miss out on some of the fun and the excitement that the emotional side can provide. But they fight each other. We switch over to the rational side and we go, you're going to do this the right way. And then emotional side says, no, I want to have some fun too. The food is yummy. And so we bounce back and forth. And so some people have done this their whole life. It's the yo-yo dieting. And so you gain, 70 pounds going, to the emotional side of like, I just go crazy. I'm loving it. You're just having a good time. You're going nuts there. And then you go, oh man, I'm out of control. I need to get some rules. And so you put the rules in place. That gets us over into this parent and dictator side. And we rule, and we lose the weight. But then we're tired of the rules, or we get to our weight loss goal, and we go, finally, I get let up on the rules. And we go, and we snap all the way back. And so this is very ineffective. What we want to look for is this tug of life here. So this alignment team is the ideal where rational and emotional are pulling together, pulling against real life challenges. There are real challenges out there instead of just fighting yourself. There are challenges besides our own selves, which are typically ourselves is the biggest challenge. But we're pulling towards an exciting future. So this one up here is too much of an energy drain. This diet tug of war. This down here, we got the exciting future that we're going towards. And so what is the exciting future? This is the craving that we need to create. A great example of this is from Dave Ramsey. He's a financial coach there, and he helps people get out of debt and become wealthy and all that stuff because just using sound financial principles, basically same principles that would help you to lose weight as well. And so he said it in a very interesting way because he works with people a lot of times. He has a call-in radio show. He's got 6 million listeners, whatever. It's amazing what he does. And so they'll call in and just have one person is really good at spending in the relationship and one person is really good at saving. The spender is putting them into jeopardy and the saver is freaking out and wants to get things under control so they can retire and not eat dog food. And so they're having a trouble. So how do you convince this spender? How do you convince the spender, to do that? So this is like maybe the emotional side, the child side. The other one feels like the parent all the time. You're the child, I'm the parent. Like, how do I get this child to obey me? And so what a lot of times they'll do is they'll sit them down and they say, hey, that's enough of this. This is crazy. We've got to stop this. This is a mess. We're going to be in trouble, 20, 30 years from now. We don't have any retirement. We don't have any of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop going out to eat. No more going out to eat. We're going to sell our nice cars that we really like with the heated seats, and we're going to buy some rusted out junkers, so we can save money on that. And then then we're not going to go on vacations. We're going to just cut everything. And you know what that emotional side, that childlike side goes, that sounds awful. I'm not in with that. No way. And so they go, well, that's not going to win them over. Talking about all the stuff that's going to be horrible about going through that is not going to get anybody excited about, saving money, about living on a budget, or about, working on your nutrition, about, trying to eat more vegetables. It's not going to get you excited, to do that. You can't eat anything fun ever again. We need to just create a craving. Instead of pushing someone somewhere, you have to lead somebody somewhere. You get them excited. And so what Dave Ramsey says is you talk about the benefits that we're going to have because of this. He says, you know what? When we have this, when we have our debt paid off, when we have this money in retirement, you're going to play golf all the time. It's going to be amazing. Maybe we're going to be able to donate to that charity that you really, really love. We can go out to eat just about every meal once we get there. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna go on some amazing vacations. Check off items on our bucket list. It's gonna be incredible. And we just gotta, for a short period of time, we're gonna do a couple things there, and it's gonna create this awesome opportunity for us. And so we're looking at some of those things. And some of the obviously short term you do carry some of that over. So you'll be allowed to eat food, at different points, but you got to start off with getting some of those vegetables going. You got to get some of the protein in. You've got to go for those mini meals. You got to get some of that. So, but you create that craving for the future, and so the way you do that for yourself is you try a vision board or something like that. So you create a vision board. A vision board is basically like a piece of paper or a poster board, or you could even do it online on the computer or something like that, where you actually find little pictures of the goals that you have. Maybe it's the slim body that you want. You got this active, grandparent that's throwing the kids around and playing with them and sliding on a slide, or whatever. There's this aging gracefully, this fitting into nice clothes. It's being in a great gown at a big event. Whatever it is for you, that creates that excitement. So you think about that. What do I want my future to be like? What does this work that I'm going to do on my nutrition? What is the benefit that I'm going to have? Like, what do I picture down the road is going to happen to me if I really do a great job on my health and my nutrition and my weight loss, and I do this stuff with cravings? And so you start drawing that out, and that provides inspiration. You look at that and you go, oh yeah. And so when you have the choice between this exciting future of being skinny, having great energy, feeling great, confidence is up, you're not depressed, you fit in all the clothes that you want to fit in, when you look at that, and then you look at that cookie. And that cookie no longer looks quite as good. It doesn't look quite as amazing as feeling awesome, does. And so it's easier to start saying no sometimes. Not all the time, because sometimes something's going to be amazing and you want it. But you're going to be able to say no to some of those less amazing foods there. And so you won't be overeating quite so much. And so creating that craving is a big part of that too. So these are the craving management steps there. So water, protein, fat, mini meals, vegetables and fruit, tapering back on sweets, avoiding poisons. How do you feel is a massive part of this. And then creating a craving. And so again, I consider this a list that goes in priority order, kind of easiest to hardest in a way too, as most involved, towards the bottom there. But start off, get some of these things going, work your way down this list and start doing these things better and better. You put this magnet on your fridge, it's a reminder. You open the fridge there, you notice you have a craving, look at that, find out what happened. Don't judge yourself for the craving while you're having the craving. Look at that and say, I have a craving right now. What did I miss? What am I not doing that's causing this craving? Maybe I'm not being aware of my feelings. Maybe I had too many poisons. I have gluten. I have a dairy thing going on. Maybe I'm bad. I didn't do so good on water. A protein. I haven't been eating my protein regularly. Fat's been too low. Whatever it is, start going through those, and this will be a reminder to you. Now, sometimes you notice you have a craving. You're going to see this magnet. It's going to remind you of something you didn't do, and you're going to try to do that. It's not going to work quite right. Sometimes in that moment of craving, you just, you give into the craving a little bit. You eat some food, get that craving settled, and then figure out how you're going to do it next time. How will you do better at it next time? And then you start putting those strategies in place. Okay, I'm going to drink this water in the morning. I'm going to get this protein in my lunch. I'm going to have that snack between lunch and dinner. And so you start figuring this. I'm going to eat more veggies because I feel like I'm probably not getting the nutrition I need. And that's why I have these annoying cravings. How I feel, maybe I'm bored too much and I need to get some hobbies. So I'm at home and I've got nothing to do. So I kind of fill my time with some snacking. And so you go, okay, what else could I do? Is there volunteer work? Is there craft projects that I could do? Something. So maybe there's other things that you bring in. So use this not as a judgment tool, but as a tool for you to get rid of cravings. Maybe not in the moment, but maybe even before they happen. And so I hope this was helpful. Enjoy your magnet, and if you need any more help, we work with people on a regular basis, so that we're not just people that just throw magnets and videos together. We train people, on some of these things. We're always doing education at the end of our classes. Our workouts are designed to help the body, perform the best. And so if you're looking at, want to get into a program with us, we would love to help you so much more than what this magnet, is going to do for you, but you have to contact us. You can contact us through talltrainer.com, and we would love to help you out. So, but if you did or not, I wish you the best. All right, this is Jeremy saying have fun, be safe.